Yeah, welcome back. The Pro FM on 2023. Yeah, I think today we're talking about the Phibias cartel, where we know that as long as existence of Phibias cartel, there are no green alternatives. It's all a scam, it's all a lie. We'll still be paying for profit making, and we will continue making destructive item in ecology as long as the Phibias cartel exists and the capitalist supergiant still exists. We just need to forget. So with that, we're saying in South Africa, for example, the issue pertaining the power crisis, as long as the Phibias cartel, they might not have a plan for now. It's going to be dark as load shedding until they get rid of the Phibias cartel. They exit the crisis of the inflation and exit the crisis about the issues of maladministration and corruption, because that's the main fuel into all this chaos we have with the current status. So Phibias cartel is adding to the current problem, and two saying that we might not as well even be on the same page. I personally insist that as long as there's still an existence of a Phibias cartel, I don't see any plan being effective. Rather, we'll become zombatic zombie society where systematically we're no longer capable. In other words, I'm driving you towards another ideology, concepts of the English people known as the Phibian society, which was established more or less same year with the Phibias cartel. So the idea behind Phibias, the Phibian society, not the Phibias cartel, Phibian society, is to keep us dependent in a system. Yeah, to keep us independent in a social system, which we have seen it is happening now. A lot of us are dependent in a social system, either financially, educationally, in terms of laws, in terms of judicial administration, finances, and all in all, you see, even your military, it doesn't come from the people. It comes from the Phibian system. So we say the Phibias and the Phibian in the ultra research, we're reaching a conclusion, or we're deriving a conjecture that there has been a relationship between the Phibias cartel that manage the industry supply chain, and also now it's interlinked into the Phibian society, which is more into the issues of politics, but both parties promote this one and the same thing: dependency on a system which we're not too sure who are the configurators and what are they planning in the future. But for sure now, what we know is that we have become zombatic zombie in a systemic design that has been well woven, well engineered, that even the so-called people that are so pious, they wouldn't see it. They take it as normal, as simple, but fair and square. We have SSMD. Listen to what he's saying too. He says society was never ever was designed to benefit humanity. Instead, society was designed to keep us down, dumping us down as zombatic zombie. You must note that, number one. And it was never meant to benefit us, that's two. And the three, nobody understands what's happening here. It's all a bollocks. It's all a bollocks. When you say it's a bollocks, it means we are locked up in a system of politics, government, religions. In fact, let's say in the spheres of society, we're all locked. So you must come to your sense, revise your perception, revise your mindset, and then you will come to the same conclusion that we're talking about. My father David Icke talked about psychopath. Today we're witnessing psychopath. Like the leader of EFF is a psychopath, like the president is a psychopath, former president, they were psychopath. All they did, they sit in a concert, in a session, making sure that corruption ran in this country. Now tell me, how did South Africa become a blackout? because it's run by a psychopath. Psychopath, we're referring to the sauna that was delivered, where they introduced a minister of electricity instead of fixing the crisis. So this is a crisis. This is a hyperinflation in 2023, and fair and square, I don't want to lie to you, it's an economic meltdown. Yes, business people, business management, economists might try and say economy recovering it. Damn it, there's nothing recovering. It's all nonsensical. Can't you not see? Things are very gloomy in the inside. Did it not the Pope said to you, things are very gloomy here? Things are very gloomy here from the inside. Because now we know that the enemy of the system is not an external now, it's an internal one, which is a worm in a system, like that of COVID-19, that of corruption in South Africa, that of the Zondo Commission. This is an enemy, this is a worm in a system, which is now destroying everything. So this, we're saying, we see now connecting the dots, where we're taking from what David Icke was talking about, saying is a technocratic state. 100% it is technocratic, because now we are detected by a machine, artificial intelligence, the AI. And all this is happening right in our eyes. And it's so sad to find that the people who promote it now are general people like me and you. Let me ask you, when we are vaccinating, who are putting injection in our hands and in our shoulders? Was it a minority group? Have you seen one of those minority group people coming and injecting us? They did not. It is us, the people in general, people like me. Those people in those TV, those people in those hospital. You see now. So we were talking about the hyperinflation, the technocratic state. When we say technocratic state, we're referring to a system where technology is used to control the people, how they think, their perception, and also a push towards that. Now, I'm inspired by David Icke when he was talking about this guy, Elon Musk, when I was saying connecting the dots. Now I'll talk in a prophetical manner and come in my general assumption and come in my postulate. In prophecy, the alien mask, not Elon Musk, we call it the alien mask. You will understand later why do we call him the alien mask. Because it simply means he's putting a mask of alien, this guy. He's going to unbox the Pandora box of the aliens, which means the alien technology is coming, the alien society is coming. But listen to what we're saying. Elon Musk is walking in the step of an antichrist, or is paving the way for the Antichrist. What is the Antichrist? The system where they use a triple code, which is going to be placed in the people's foreheads and 4 skull on their right hand or left hand. It doesn't matter. But the success of it is that already the network has been finished. Okay. So we're saying the network has been finished, known as a Starlink. And if I was to tell you exactly that the Starlink was something that was done in front of us in the past 1960 until today, I can say personally, indirect, we contributed into Starlink. Just like now, we're exposing the agenda that has been hidden, things that have been kept secret. But this is what we're saying. The Starlink is paving towards the society where people will be mapped. And the alien mask have indicated there's a microchip, there's a cell phone, there's a car, there's all the network of things that are put together. But what we want to say now is that be careful of the alien mask movement, because it's pushing towards the mark of the beast, and which is at place as we're talking right now. Probably I might be a survivor, I might not be a survivor, but as long as the truth has been shared and has been indicated very well that his movement is paving towards the mark of the beast. Now, then we come talk about the war between Ukraine and Russia in America. We know exactly that the war that took place, the war that is taking place between Russia and Ukraine, it is started by America. Just like how America wanted to enter World War II in 1945, they did a similar blunder. So in this case, America directly attacked Ukraine and then started manufacturing some weapon which obvious to Russia that was a threat. As a result, Russia had nothing but to annihilate anything that was there, which is what they did. And now we're saying that definitely whether the war is won by the West or by the East, still there's no solution. The solution, listen to it, the solution is Christ. The solution is God. Neither Russia is the winner, neither America is the winner. The winner is God. So with that, we're saying, yes, I talk now, some people may be more interested in the geopolitics, saying what's going on, but I'm not into geopolitics. I'm to talk about the movement of Christ, to say Israel has to be rebuilt again. Anything around has to swallow beneath it. It either might be earthquake or it might be a massive destruction of things, because the earthquake that you see happening there, it won't be long before below it down there, zam kilometers away, there will be a nuclear blast in one of those big areas there, well-known areas somewhere there. There is going to be something. Just like Haile Selassie said, he said, by principle, the Ark of the Covenant shall be retained in Israel, but there shall be no sharing. That sharing that is there, it is going to explode. It's going to be attacked. I'm not interested in telling you by who, how, where, and why, but prepare yourself towards that. And on top of that, we're saying that, yes, the nation of Israel, we are able to see it, is able to stand in the race of life in this planet again. But the Israel that is coming, it doesn't come from the earth, it comes from heaven. It comes from heaven. But before it comes to settled, it has to clean up the area. It has to clean up the area. Former things will be forgotten. Things in systematic that you think they are well known and they are well loved, they will be forgotten. False religion will be forgotten. Big money, big super what people, they will be forgotten for Israel's sake. Is the reason I'm making this to say. I've said about the Phibias Catal. Go to your own research. I've talked about the Phibian Society, which is to promote social dependency. I was talking about technocratic state, which the technocratic state talk about the issues of DTT agenda, triple D, digital dependency development. That's the triple D agenda. And I was talking now about the hyperinflation, the issues of economics, saying the economics is a meltdown. Everything just coming down. Forget about what they're doing. A man today suffer just because of a digit. The entire mankind suffer because of a digit part. Let me say something. If it happens that there are more people disorganizing you, you should know those ones work with the Luciferian consciousness society. In other words, these are people promoting the wickedness we are under of hyperinflation, zombatic zombies, which are the people like me in general. And same time, on top of that, we have to say that yes, the kingdom of God is at hand and this thing must happen. The wickedness of the alien mask, the wickedness of Russia and America, it must happen so that it fulfill the books. And now, on top of that, we're saying we can't stop on that. Let us not forget about who we are and look to know about God. His love, His peace, His care, His share, His faith, His care, His Jesus Christ is what He wanted us to talk about. AI may try it, the configurator will try configure the AI, feed it with some information. That's what the wickedness is doing. But we're talking about the kingdom of God. For now, we will hold it there. We will come back sometime here on the Pro FM Movement 2023 and hoping that everything will come up back. It will come again in order. But don't forget, we're in a galactic war. Galactic war, it means as I'm talking to you, I'm under spiritual attacks. I'm being regulated. I'm being suppressed. I'm in seclusion. I'm not having the chance to speak what I want, the way how I feel. Just like Steve Biko said, I write what I like. I got to speak what I want to speak at the time what I want. But systematical power, they are holding me down. I'm like Daniel praying, but that angel, that power still holding me down. So I'm not in control, but this is what I'm leaving behind saying, probably Yeah, hey, still aqua fresh problems, huh? Yeah, so still here on the Pro FM, Rebel Salute Movement and the Playnic Solution Technology, where we have talked about the issues of zombatic zombies and also the issues of hyperinflation, amphibious cartel versus the amphibian society, and also touching the issues of green alternatives, and now we also touch about the issues of galactic war. The reason we're talking galactic war, it means that it seems the earth wouldn't have peace yet, because now and then we have small problem. Either it's a war, it's a biological weapon, or it's a clash, or it's a conflict, or it's a kind of a law adjustment like the COVID-19 rule and all of this. And now as a result, this thing is pushing us now to say that something new has been prepared for us, which in 2023, part of our master talks and postulate, we're talking of the frog society, where we're saying mankind is plunging into crisis, all this type of crisis. I think I've been inspecting some of this world organization. They all talk the same thing. We are facing the same challenge, plunging into crisis because of ecology being reduced. Looking into what industrial production has done, talking about the 4I Act, we're plunging into crisis, where we're looking at saying that the things of the world, they have been trying to be adjust and adjust and adjust, but still plunging into a crisis, which is a frog society. So with the frog society, what we're saying is that because a frog has eyes on top here, it doesn't have eyes in the front. It can't really show where it's heading into. So that's us. Let us recap one of our world leaders. It was the Pope who said, the days that we're getting into, they are more gloomy in the inside, which I was talking what was inside is a worm in a system, and the worm in a system is pushing us to be frog society. Where are we frogging now? Where are we going into? We're heading in a depleted society in terms of the availability of resources. Countries like Europe, which is still insist that developing country must still be held below sanction. I'm talking loosen up, saying they need to loosen up, but it is them still jumping like a frog. Listen, they jump, quack, and plunge into crisis. And these are the things you're saying that frog society is not just a minor thing about me. I'm also in the frog society. I jump to a lot of crisis, a lot of problem, stumbling across a lot of things where you got people who can have ear to listen, eye to see. It's like a Statue of Liberty, you see. That's America, that's the world as it is. So frog society that we're talking about, this is our rediscovery. It was once indicated by David Icke in one of these books, The Global Conspiracy, Perception, Deception, The Robot Rebellion, plus the other books. But around those books, where was a dot connector, you talk about the frog, saying a frog is been designed in a way that it only senses when the water is hot, but it cannot be able to sense as the water becoming a little bit warmer and warmer and warmer. So this is what is happening. When we say we are frog society, when the crisis have escalated beyond control, which is happening now, people will try to jump, but jumping, it will be too late to understand, because we've been operating our cognition sense like that of a frog, not of a human being. As a result, problems have been piling and piling. For instance, let us talk of three exploded society. There's China, there's India, there's Africa. If you put COVID to eliminate, it means it was supposed to circulate around China, India, and then last should be Africa. But instead, the Chinese took this and distributed globally and started killing even people that are innocent. Frog society jumping into it. So as a result, you're looking to say economically, you look, developing countries are still dependent in developed countries, which the developed countries are still dependent in developing countries in terms of resource, like the coal. What do you say about the coal? The coil this, the coil that, the coil sabut, 1 spoon. What do you say of Mozambique pipeline case? Another problem again. That problem of Mozambique, it's sore on my heart to find that resources that are meant for Africa, they are now manipulated by people whom we think they are not supposed, they are not deserving it. But get to know this: if Africans don't worship God, they are still going to suffer. Do you hear what we say? If Africa don't worship the true God of Israel or the true God of truth, they will still suffer. So, Frog Society, this is a brainstorm. We're making a scope, saying, as we're trying to talk about the particular society or introducing a concept, we're brainstorming it, we're talking a potion about it. So plunging into crisis. So one of that is saying facing the same challenge. It's a multiplier adder effect, Frog Society. Those in the zombatic society, Frog Society, you see, this is where it leads to. So mapping everything together, I said we are a Frog Society in this time of 2023, where we keep on jumping, but we're not sure where we're going, where we're heading. It seems one and the same problem, huh? So until somebody whose cognition sense come to sense and they make sense out of everything and realize that the prophecy is right, things gonna get gloomy until it is. So still here on the Prayer FM with SSM Day, Sego Movement 2023, where we talk about the 10 functions of one, where we said in the previous years we talk about clear conscious, but trying to shift from the previous trend, looking towards the new trend we're starting to build it up. I was happy to see that this month is my month, which is very special. You find such movies and videos, and you listen to the SSMT now talking, because we've been silent. They wish us to keep quiet because we make popoyas talk, you know. They say, you are too much popoyas. But I tell them straight that way, there's nothing we can do. So they're saying in 2023, we will remain in our silence, in our seclusion, pretend as if nothing is happening, but knowing exactly what's going on. It is the Zombatic Frog Society that is a place where our people suffer every day, bread without no butter. But we promote activism. Hey, go, get yourself together there. Turn that space into agro garden, my friend. Vukulent. Vukulent, man. Work that space. Put some spinach, put some cabbage, put some potatoes, put some zamzam, other things there, and see if you should not finish a day. So still here on the Pro FM, still here on the Playnic, talking about the issues of AGF, Agriculture Federation Group, which is, there will be a specific talk for it, to which will be channeled and put on the pipelines, and so hopefully things are right. For one now, we're just starting our normal preparation, saying, get yourself ready. You can see how things they are. So only thing is activism through agriculture. That's that. So Frog Society got to jump. I am a frog. I'm jumping, but at least I'm jumping to something. I'm jumping to something which I think is what considerable. In closing the discussion in 2023, not necessarily that just saying, this is observation, this is what we've been doing and listening to the elders. The elders that we've been listening to lately these days, they've said something very mouthful, and it's still the same subject, which is Imperial Majesty, peace be upon me, Haile Selassie, left us with. You talk about molarity. So in 2023, we observed the issue saying that molarity is still fundamental in the core. We cannot judge society by technology acceleration, 4IR, but we will take the words of Friedman saying the only way to judge the progress of humanity, does its moral improve? Now, let me talk out of his mindset, and out of his nutshell. From Friedman says the future is good and is very nice for those who are still obedient and moral. People who still comply and conform to molarity. Molarity, talking issues of right and wrong, truth and respecting others and being obedient to the laws of God. So what we're saying is that through the ages we're saying since the days until to date, the only way we can judge our progress is our moral improving. Is our moral improving? Let me talk in a manner that it might be a vice versa. We can say that morality, we cannot say is improving or it's not. Based on what people we looking at what they are doing. What people are doing indicates that the moral fiber is decaying, or it's becoming a rusted rod, or there are people trampling upon it. Let me talk in the side of politics. If in South Africa, the country which I am located, morality was well observed, there was not going to be corruption. There was not going to be any commission to investigate a particular person for stealing, for maladministration. So the moment there is more of leaders being called in private concert or being tried in higher institution or legislation or in judicial system, it simply means morality is being trampled on by the very so-known people who call them the Grey Party. Grey Party people, who are they? These are people that have been selected. They're in the frontier of leadership. Your president, your lawyers, your judges, your teachers, and all of that. They start now corrupting the act. Corrupting the act means is to bypass existing laws of morality in place, protocol to be observed. You say transparency, where they need to apply a principle of Batupili principle, but no, they do the opposite. They sit behind a private session, organize more fraudulent fashions of corruptions. Where now you're looking now saying in South Africa, load shedding, how did it come into it? Is morality improving? It is not, because the shortage of electricity or the cut off, the load shedding, indication of how strong is immorality is taking place in South Africa. So I might be talking about South Africa, but even parts of the world, more or less the same trend in a fraudulent fashion. It's happening. So Fredman, your words are very powerful, because it reminds me now of the seven sage of different mystic and gurus, the rabbis in the world combined and talk about that. I'm just a spectator who's more interested understanding, saying, okay, in 2023 you insisted on one thing, saying let us remain in morality and let us look into how is our moral it. I'm not here to disgrace. I am in fact indicating the loopholes, to say, you see the loopholes, these are the big loopholes. And now as a result, it means that if we have a leader who doesn't have a strong moral, the character, what do we expect is going to happen? Today's leaders are made by money, not by faith, not by the Spirit of God, not by love, cash, and faith. Money makes them, and as a result, they've corrupted the art. What is the art? The art is the art of morality, the art of respect, the art of being patient, the art of being compassionate, showing love. This is the art. But no, because of money, they have corrupted. Now, where does that push us? It pushes us in the very same biblical prophecy that the leaders of the world, the kings and the queens, they've polluted themselves with the prostitute of the world. Let us see, who's this prostitute? This is my opinion, still on the issues of morality. This prostitute is nothing more but it's money. Everyone who have money thinks is smart, he knows. When they know exactly, they don't know nothing, because they lack the very thing which Fredman was talking about, morality. But well, maybe Fredman is a recent human being. What did Haile Selassie said for Africa? Because that is in I'm standing here. I was inspired by His Imperial Majesty. Haile Selassie said, morality for humanity sake is a priority in this time. It's the reason we're talking about that. So talking about the issues of morality, saying that's what we need. We don't need someone to say, I was a billionaire in less than 2 years out of the COVID-19 vaccine. But where do you put your moral? How many have to die so that to get more money of that? How many have you make out of money? Prostituting themselves with money to destroy morality. But you know what? The truth of the matter, we all know that at the end of the day, morality will remain standing and corruption will have to go. Do you hear what I'm saying? Corruption has to go. Wickedness has to go. You see, and what will remain? It will be peace. Peace must prevail in this time, because indeed we are in Armageddon, and this is the Armageddon we're talking about. That from the lips you will hear them what they say, because now we're talking about the fruit of the Spirit, which saying in the fruit of the Spirit we got to show the love. You telling me that I will praying, but there's still people that are vulnerable in society. We're not saying we're coming to stop that, but we're saying, how is it happening? My people, in today's discussion, we're talking about molarity, which Fredman talked about it. And so as a result, is the reason now I had to be a little bit pressy there and there, indicating some other loophole. You see the leadership like this, he's not doing the things of molarity. They are doing things of wickedness, or they are following their mother, who's the mother of harlots, the mother of old settlement. Because the Bible says the merchant of the earth are getting richer, and the more they get richer, morality is being decreased. Pandam creation. Do you see the big picture here? The Bible says the merchant of the earth are getting richer. As they get rich, they trample upon justice. Now, there was another book that was written in the West called The Great Controversy. The Great Controversy book said corruption is destroying the love for justice in any country. It means if we have someone who's in leadership, he did a crime, but he chose to take his money to buy a lawyer, to buy the court, to buy the judge with a grudge, the lawyer who's a liar. And now he come and say, yes, try me. And after that, killing 4 people, that person, he go free of the court. And they will say, look, this politician, out of him there's been murder. Out of him there's been manslaughter, but he go free the streets. And now we're asking, is the judicial system of justice, do you think is still favorable to the poor? It's not. Mr. Politician, with your corruption, your congressman cancer, you destroy the love for justice for this country, which is the fellow South Africa, and the world, which is even other parts of the world, are still run by the same people who are the women system. Who is the women system? Those who are destroying the love for justice. Those who are stealing what is rightful of the poor and keep it for themselves. Still here on the prayer film where we're saying the fruit of the Spirit, they got to show the love. So in talking now in other manner, the big guys, when we say the big guys, we're talking the minority, the super rich, the filthy parrots that are rich. Filthy parrots means they're stealing from the poor, from the pocket of the poor. I'm talking about the wealthy, the rich, this minority group. They need to loosen up for the poor, or else their firstborn will die. Just like Pharaoh in Egypt, he built his empire using Israel, but when God came back, he said, you will pay, your firstborns will die. We're talking in the wilderness with the Safar saying, God, you see the super rich, how morality goes. Morality, you don't keep your money in your pocket. You don't hold people in a society systematically where you use them as your fishes or whatever that you use to make your building the other side of the super rich. The super rich has to loosen up for the poor, and they must give in terms. Now we're talking of zakat. Zakat, my friend. So morality still goes with zakat, but if they don't take zakat serious, we got a problem. Morality. My time is short because I'm recording from a limited time. We got to talk more things when I have more time. But we will continue from the issues, the fruit of the Spirit, morality, faith, care, share, fair, justice, equals compassion. Because Jesus Christ, he was not talking about wives and husbands and better career. He was talking about love. If we can improve our morality, it's going to improve our faith with God and Christ. And if we improve that, it's going to improve our love and interaction to one another. And we will start looking the system with a different eye, a different outlook. I thank you. Assalamu alaikum.